So we're here ready to do our new podcast where we interview professionals, businesses, community organizations, and more.
But I thought we were here to interview artists.
Whoa, yeah. Yeah, we're going to be interviewing all types of artists, musicians, poets, singers, dancers, painters. Whatever your craft is, we welcome you to come to our podcast and tell us who you are. Look at.
Or is it more about relations and why those were matched?
Well, to each his own when it comes to our, of course. And it does matter how we look, both individually and as a couple. We represent each other, right?
Right. So, since you said that, shouldn't this really be about beauty?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to share some of my beauty tips, of course. I mean, that's what I do. Oh, yes, darling, because you do know that I am a Mary Kay consultant, and I've got something on some of my secrets. Anyway, you know, because when you look good, you feel good.
Speaking of look good, feel good, that reminds me that this is more about the vegan, plant-based style, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Plant-based living saved my life. Fighting diabetes, you know, changing my lifestyle to the vegan lifestyle has really improved my health. And so we're going to show everybody how to eat right, tasty dishes that are good for you, and have some guests who can help us with those culinary arts.
That's what's up. So what about the reflections and encouragement of the day? Isn't that what it's really about?
I think at the end of the day, we're going to know what is ChynaGroove. I'm Chyna Dog.
I'm D-Groove.
And together, we are ChynaGroove.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Ring the alarm.
Ring the alarm.
I thought that was my calling. Whoa, hey.
Hey.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
It's another Saturday. How many times can I say Saturday?
It's Saturday.
It's Saturday?
Saturday. We done sat down.
It's the day you sat.
What?
Is that how you do it?
Hey, shouts out to Angel Mills, the reason why we're here today.
Yes, definitely.
Woo, woo.
Definitely. Once again, it's on another Saturday evening. I hope everybody made it through this heat today.
Woo. It was 100 on the dial?
Yeah, it was hot.
It was 100 on the dial.
I think at one time it was 102.
102.
102.
That's like a fever.
And that's not on your FM dial. Some of y'all won't get that joke, but I'm going to just move on.
Yes. Indeed.
So once again, thank you all for joining us on another Saturday evening. You are in tune to, of course, who? No, I'm kidding.
It's us.
It's us.
We in the building in North Carolina studio.
Part of it would be the wonderful, the amazing, the super talented, the nice, and great to look at Mrs. Camilla Chyna Collins Washington, ladies and gentlemen.
He's so special, y'all. I love it. Don't y'all just love the love?
In a good way. Special.
Yeah, listen, everything about you is special. $5 off. Anyway, across from me is my hubby, my boo, the luxurious chocolate thunder himself, the curly head wonder. Shea buttered down, but not down to the ground. Who is he but none other than Derek D-Groove Washington.
And together
we are ChynaGroove Show. Yes, because sometimes it's a podcast and sometimes it's a show. Ooh, we are super excited. Ooh. I have been practicing saying that because all of the content creators say that, don't they, y'all? Super excited to bring to you tonight on this luxurious evening, some of the most talented people, 2 parts of the 5 pillars of hip hop summer camp that's coming to Sanford, North Carolina, and soon to be annual. Yes. Yes, bring it on, bring it on.
Did you see my description?
What was the description?
Wait for it. It's time for some pillar talk.
And that's PILLAR, not PILLOW, for those who misread that statement.
I'm sorry. You know,
but it is pillar talk. And what is it? The pillars of the 5 pillars of hip hop. 2 out of 5 here tonight. We have with us Miss Deanna Dowdy, the administrator, coordinator, director, and originator of the Divas of Royal Dynasty. And across from her is going to be Mr. Nico Boncales, who is the CEO artist and the extraordinary tattoo artist who is bringing some great artistic quality classes to this pillar. Veracity Tattoos is his company, and y'all want to check them both out. But without further ado, y'all give it up for our guests. Click, tag, and share so they can be heard.
You heard?
You heard? Word. What's up, y'all?
How's it go?
Hey. Thank you both for joining us. We've met in other areas, but it's good to have you on because it's a special thing that we're all kind of connected with, and you know, it's great working with the both of you. I saw your energy up on stage when we were doing kind of that look through, and I could see the excitement in your eyes. I hope I'm not, putting words or thoughts or feelings in your mouth or head, but
that's
I can see it. I can see it, and I'm looking forward to your presentation as well, because and as you see the background, I was looking for one for you as well, but that is the only graffiti alley in Baltimore. It's near and dear to Kimmy and mine's heart because we both walked those grounds. But anyway,
yes.
So that's all one part of it, and then you bring the dance element.
Yes, sir.
And people have to understand that is hip hop first off and foremost. It's not just rapping, which some people seem to be stuck on the fact that if you're not talking about rap, you're not talking about hip hop. No, it's the culture.
The culture.
Right?
That's right.
So to start off on that note, give us an idea of, and I believe I've heard it from both of you before, but tell our audience what initially drew you to hip hop.
Well, for me, like I said, it was in my blood. It was like a DNA thing for me. My dad was an entertainer growing up, and so I've always heard the music around me. And my daughter, she's a rapper, and I dibble-dabbed it when I was growing up, so it was just in my blood. It's just something that connected me to it. It was drawing me to it, and I've danced since I've been here. And so hip-hop for me is just really DNA. It's a part of me. It's something that was born with me and something that I birthed to my children, so it's DNA.
So if she needs any tracks, shameless plug, this track that's playing in the background is a D-Groove production.
Boom, boom, boom. Yes. And listen, tell everybody who your daughter is and where we can find her music.
Yes, most definitely. My daughter is AZ Money, and if you want to look on Facebook, it's AZ$. She also has music on SoundCloud as AZ$. And this year is her first year going hard. She's done a lot of shows. I think we have like 5 shows now.
Woo.
And she's got some music out here, and her manager is DL Dowdy. It's my husband. So if anybody wants to contact him to have her come and do a show, or even just an interview or anything, DL Dowdy, or even reach out to me, is Eliz A. Bith on Facebook, or just directly to her Facebook, and we run her social media, so we'll get the messages and we'll reach back out. But we are looking for producers to give us some original beats, so I'll make sure my husband reach back out to you. And we are looking for studios that are kid-friendly studios, so if there are more kid-friendly studios, reach out to us.
And how old is she?
She is 9 years old, and she's been rapping since she was 5.
Wow.
God-given gift. It just made sense. She dealt with bullying, and to channel her bullying, like her emotions and stuff, she awesome writer, and her teacher was like, she's good with words. And one day she came out. I have a friend, he was doing music. He would come over all the time, and she was like, to him, that was a superstar. So she was like, wait, I want to show him something. And she just bust out rapping for him.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, she got it. And then from there on, we just took it seriously.
Nice.
So she's a natural.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Now, not to go off the subject. Sorry, Nico.
Oh, no, you're fine.
You're going to answer the same question, and that was, what drew you to hip hop?
So I grew up with hip hop and music. I wasn't heavily influenced into that kind of culture. I was a random mutt in elementary school, but hip hop was always music and the backgrounds everybody was into. We were doing like those beatbox on the tables, and I would be the guy doing like the beats a little bit here on the tables.
Okay.
But I've always been around it, but it's I have different methods that I work with, but like hip hop has always been choice of my music. Not all of it, but my playlist is always random with a lot of different musics, but I stay close as much as I can with people that are in the same atmosphere, and who's ever willing to share the arts, even whether it be with hip hop. And Sanford has a lot of hip hop artists here in this town. So I try to stay involved as much as I can. I do other lead roles, so it's tough to say and answer that because I'm a different ethnicity. So I have very Southern Baptist, and not to throw that in there. So that was kind of what I grew up in. But looking outwardly from the in, like I love the culture. Like doing the graffiti for this is kind of like somewhat my avenue. I don't do enough murals to say, but I have done some graffiti in front of Luli Sushi's when it was Luli Sushi's.
Wow.
Now it's Hokkaido. So they got rid of it, new business name, and did some for the Brass Kettle when it was around.
Yeah.
But it may seem defeating that those graffiti and the murals out there were taken down, but it's not to say it's dead in me, because I have other forms of art that I work with. But now that this opportunity came with the Able, and being introduced to this from Sandra, who was really referencing me to apply for this, I was like, well, I trust your word, and like if you think this is a good fit for the need of this company or this organization, I'm willing to hear it out. And what can I do to contribute? And I'm involved with the arts and doing obviously tattoos, as we started off with, but I am also a multimedia artist, and I love working with paint. I know how to do a little bit of airbrush, paintbrush, acrylics. Obviously, tattoo inks is my main product that I use. You got it put up there on the
I love. I got to admit, I love the way that looks. I like that you gave us that type of a file, because it really goes in well. And not to be left out, I did also include the Divas of Royal Dynasty.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
You guys are amazing. We're so glad to have you.
Thank you for having us.
What was your first thought when you heard about the 5 pillars of hip hop coming to Sanford?
Well, like Nico, Sandra, and I want to shout out Sandra Stamped It. Of course, she's a great person. She contacted me and said, I think this would be great, because she knew that it's not just me, I have 2 associates that we started Divas of Royal Dynasty, and she seen we were promoting that. And I also have backup dancers for my daughter's team.
Right.
And she was there seeing how I was working with them through the show, and so she reached out to me, and I seen it. I opened the link that she seen me, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. Because it's different. I've never seen a camp like this come to Lee County. I'm used to NYSP and football, cheerleading, athletic stuff, but nothing for the art. And so I thought it was amazing, because right now we have so many children sitting at home that can rap, that can make a beat, and they can even use the programs on their phone to make beats and using their phones to put together videos on TikTok and doing all these skilled dancing, but nowhere to go and broadcast their talent or learn or get mentored. So I feel like that was when I learned about 5 Pillars of Hip Hop program. I was floored. I was so happy.
And like my history in Sanford, seeing activities or lack of activities. I grew up a skateboarder in my teenage years, and graffiti was kind of what we did, and not the most extravagant, but we always had trouble trying to find venues that are for that age group. We always got kicked out, I guess it would be in that graffiti lifestyle where you do the street activities and get it done,
land late nights,
and get out before the cops come, and but that was a necessary issue, and programs like this was exciting to me because that's exactly what would have been something I would have been wanting to do instead of unaccompanied, non-organized kind of teenage behaviors, and having this kind of program is
less risk associated with it.
It's a safe space.
And on the graffiti side, it has been frowned upon and considered vandalism in history. And so when you read the history of it now from the generations that grew through it, like you, it was writing. It was a form of writing. Everybody can't write lyrics like your baby can. They have to write it out in art. And I see that coming from you as well, whether it be on a tattoo or graphics design. I can see that you really communicate through colors, and a lot of people have that gift, and it really is a gift that people who don't have it really don't understand it. Just like your gift of dance, it's an expression of who you are. It's an extension of who you are and what you bring to our community, and we love you guys so much for sharing it with us.
And I'm going to go on the other side of that. I understand what you're saying, but you have to look at the genesis of all this as far as when it actually started. I forget what movie that was that we were watching, but when they showed what New York City looked like back when hip-hop was being birthed, it literally looked like a battle zone. You know what I mean? You had so many rundown buildings. You had trash. I mean, it was just amazing how it looked. So to me, the graffiti artists back then were doing a service. They were taking these ugly looking buildings and these rundown looking areas, and they were putting art up all over the city. You know what I mean?
I think it was the Get Down.
Yeah, that's what it was.
The story of the Bronx.
Yes, and that's the way that I look at it. As far I understand the illegality of it, you're putting something up and defacing so-called somebody else's property, but there needs to be more of an outlet for it, so it's not like what Nico was describing. You're going out, you have that risk factor involved, and that's another thing that I love about this camp is it's creating that type of environment to where you can go learn it. You can go and just paint on whatever you bring to paint on and not have to worry about constantly looking over your shoulder. You can focus on being creative. And and that's the amazing thing to me is if you look at the culture as it was then and it is now, those cats back then did it with their brain power and not a lot of technology. You know what I mean?
They were up on bridges. Building scaffolding, without
you look at
construction worker equal.
You look at a tag back then. How did that get up there?
and I will stand with you as seeing you as a muralist as well. And I hate that your art had to be taken down, but God always has a way of going out with and creating a new thing. So I just believe that we will see your murals again.
Perhaps
soon.
It constantly revolves, and
I stand with you as a career piece, a part of your career. That is a very lucrative part of this community.
What's the
there's murals everywhere
the
here.
Sanford Appearance Commission or whatever that does the murals.
We hope they're listening.
Yes, if you're listening. We have a fresh new muralist.
He's not new. He just need to come back.
Well, new to them.
Yes.
Yes.
Different trade, but well, the importance of this program, going with that subject you were talking about, is that not only is it a safe environment for this type of age group, but it kind of gives a facility for them to understand what it is seeing it from this raw part to production part. And I think that's the hardest part when it comes from the streets, is that you only get to see this level of, in the street level.
Yes. Yes.
And, with practiced artists, such as like a dancer, tattoo artist, and members who've been doing this for a while, we're facilitating that knowledge, so they're not just going to run off in the streets and just make the mistake on the wrong corner of the street. We're able to like teach them that like these skills can translate to real business products.
Yes.
And I think that's what excited me and like what I can contribute to this program.
I love it. We love it. And thank you so much. Let's talk a little bit about the boogie, the moves, the shakes,
Yes, ma'am.
the swerves and the curves, how you do it. What does dance bring from your perspective? What does dance bring to hip hop?
Well, dance brings it
community,
alive
period.
to me. It brings it alive, especially to the community, and it lets everyone be a part of the music. Because you listen to music and you can say it, but whenever you're actually dancing and you hit those beats, you're being a part of the music and you're feeling the music. And we all know vibrations through sounds, they go through our bodies and things. So to me, dance as a part of the hip hop music, the part it plays is bringing it to life, because you actually see the visual. Like, 'cause nowadays, some of these music that they're making, they have dances for every song. And so they literally sometimes are wording or sign language. They're bringing that music to life for some people who may not even hear the music. So, so I love it.
That's amazing. I love the way you put that.
Angel Mills had a great point. Graffiti as an art is controversial, but is increasingly being accepted as a form of expression and social commentary. Yes, indeed. Yes.
Yeah, because the messages that were going up, it's like the T-shirts we wear now.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a statement T-shirt.
Yes.
So to put it on a wall when you could.
And you to me, you have to look at the dance portion of it too as social commentary, really.
Yeah.
Because you have different styles depending on what region of the country that you're from, that speaks to what those individuals went through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have the more aggressive styles from either New York or the West Coast, to where they're battling. I mean, it started in New York with the Rocksteady crew and oh goodness, and Crazy Legs and all, and what's the other one? Oh, it was right there on the tip of my
You
tongue.
talking about
Beat Street.
Yeah, I was going to say Beat
The
Street.
Rocksteady crew and the Electric Breakers. That's the other
Electric
one.
Breakers,
yes. So it was all confrontational. But the good thing about that was it seldom, if ever, really broke out in the fights.
Yeah.
They settled it by dance. Oh yeah, you beat me this time, but I'm gonna come back and beat you next time. All right, peace, see you. Dapped it up and went their separate ways.
Still community. And
Yes.
that's and that's the great thing about it. Where did we get lost? The question is, how did we go from battling in dance, in rap, in art, to picking up guns and knives and let's kill each other? Like,
Yeah, I don't know what generation or where it flipped at, because I remember my dad used to tell me back in the days, like, the guys who really were the ones that were singing and dancing. Those were the cool cats. Those were the cool guys. But now it's like, that's right.
You just hit a key word.
Cool cat.
Cool cats. That phrase right there. Remember that phrase though, because that's how it. I don't know when it switched, but that's how it switched. Was then all of a sudden people, oh, that ain't cool.
Yeah.
I ain't moving like that. I'm gonna just stand on this wall and look.
I have a theory.
Hold up the wall.
What's that?
Nico has a theory.
I'm sure some people have seen this too, but like, when two different types of ants are in the same farm, it could be a red or it could be a black, they all get along. They build an ecosystem.
Yeah.
And they thrive, but that ant farm, somewhere or another, somebody gets curious, just shakes it up. And then everybody goes on a rampage.
that was
Because
so
now
great
you're blaming
input.
everybody. Oh, you shook me. No, you shook me. No,
Yeah.
and then now it's a confrontational thing and it's aggressive. I like that point.
That's amazing. I love that too. And if, between art, any type of creativity is a show of your connection with a higher power. I feel like I was watching a video earlier where the break dancers were literally going from a windmill or whatever to ending up spinning vertically on their heads and just like spinning like a spinning top. And I think the caption was, it was like somebody from the conscious community. He said he went into God mode. food, right? And so people feel inferior to other people who they think are better than them. And so instead of us teaching each other, we lost it and became a little bit prideful.
Ego.
Yeah.
The ego kind of got
Ego's
into our.
right.
Yeah.
I tell people, like,
Ego kicked in.
don't ever let your ego run first.
Yeah.
Because what's the easiest way to take somebody's fire away? And I remember what you said. Cool. Those were the cool kids.
Yeah.
If you want to be the cool kids, what do? If you have either no talent or you try to break them down. You try to make them seem as though they're not cool because now you want the attention on you.
Yeah.
But, and like you also mentioned, it's tough to really kind of pinpoint exactly when that changed.
Yeah.
Because I always remember it was just, especially through the 80s, the early 90s. I think I know when it changed, but I'm going to just wait. It was just...
Don't blame it on gangster rap.
It was prevalent. No, it was prevalent.
Gangster rap.
Well, they've had
here's
gangster
the
rap a
thing.
long time, though.
If you go overseas, they still focus on that. That part of the culture is alive and thriving in Japan, in Europe, all over the place overseas. That is still something that is done on a regular basis. When was the last time you saw a competition or breakdance, anything here in the U.S.? You don't hear about it much.
Unless it's that show, So You Think You Can Dance or something like that. I feel like now all of that's reserved for the television for people to see. Like, you don't really see those local dance. But then again, in certain states, like Atlanta, it is big, the underground dancing and battling and things. But I guess it's like sort of knows of the dancing community that knows about it. But being broadcasted, like So You Think You Can Dance, and all, no, we don't have that.
We don't have
to show people a different side of the unity side of the dance. It just looks like battling from East Coast,
Now, how can we talked about how there's a lot of sports programs coming up? You said while you were here as a younger person, and we're taught in teams when we work in teams that one team, one win, everybody wins. If one does something off, everybody's off. So how can we teach more sportsmanlikeship in these areas for the creatives? What would be our message to the youth to break that stigma of I've got to beat this person down to be better than them? How can we meld that together and teach these young people?
Well, when I think about that, I think about like with our team, sometimes we let our girls battle. And that's just an expression of, they get to be free and do whatever, but we teach them good sportsmanship in it, where when one feels like the other one ate them up on the flesh, or she ate me up, they'll say, oh, you ate me up. And then they'll go home and try and do that move that the other one did when they beat them. And then they hug it out afterward. It's a good vibe, but that's how you can do sportsmanship. When you feel like someone's better than you at something, try to work as hard as you can to get it like that, so you can show them you motivated me to get that, not be sad you can't do it or break them down because they can. Yeah, it's just learning from each other is good sportsmanship and creative.
And that's what caught my eye in the description and your mission statement, basically. And it's scrolling across the bottom of the screen, but it says that our goal is to build healthy minds through dance and mentorship. And then you also have your first event coming up, a back to school event, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And then it says that you're going to be giving out school supplies, have fun activities and performance from local teams and artists. And that's going to be August 17th, 2024.
Indeed.
Yes, sir.
So we will make sure that we get information that we can put out there so folks can be a part of that.
Yes.
And then, as you can also see at the bottom of the screen, we have Nico Boncales. I don't know why I'm talking in that voice, my radio voice.
It makes it sound really good when I hear it on my ears right now.
We're in the midst of greatness, so we got to bring it, right?
I might actually have to have your voice on my next commercial on there.
Voice for hire.
go.
Yeah,
Yes.
not a problem.
Yes.
At Veracity. Now, is it Veracity? No, I'm sorry. I had to say that. At Veracity Tattoos, 919-292-1299. I hope that number's still correct because I got it off your Instagram.
Yeah, it's actually a tricky logo because it actually spells out just Veracity, right?
Yes.
But I kind of wanted to hide it a little bit so you get it later. that it's Veracity because it just sounds cool, like Veracity.
Yeah.
And I wanted to kind of change the name and stance of like not being such a typical tattoo shop like Veracity. It's actually the number one or the only tattoo shop named Veracity in America.
Wow.
So
Congratulations.
it's like okay, it makes sense. It doesn't have anything to do with ink or therapy or just it has tattoos. It's direct to the point. But I could have went with Black Lotus tattoos. I could have went with cardinal tattoos.
It's funny that you say Black Lotus, but anyway.
Is that where you got your tattoo?
No.
I worked at a shop in Black Lotus tattoos.
Ah, okay. No, it's funny. When I was in college, I used to manage rappers, and we had our lead guy, Tony Black. Shouts out to my man, Tony. And then we started a clique. We had 2 other groups underneath, and the whole clique as a collective was called the Black Lotus. Yeah.
I just wanted to give the Google search definition of veracity, just to share with others how it links in. Yes,
public now.
Conformity with truth or fact, accuracy and devotion to the truth or truthfulness. And I really appreciate that because it stands out because you are true. You're authentic. Both of you have a level of authenticity that is going to grip the youth and adults of this community with what you do, because you've been doing a lot of community work just behind the scenes, just pushing other people over the years. So I know you know all about that, and I know you're a little younger than us, girl, but you have always been in the community as well and always taking part in the solutions. We love to talk to the solutions and not keep hearing about what went wrong in the neighborhoods.
No, that's actually following up with the question you had for her, like mentorship, as he keyworded that. As like people that has been doing it a while that pushed it forward against all odds. Like, we need more of them. Yes. It's like they share experience, like Bible and experience to like really bring to the table for kids that are very hungry for the arts, or they're going to get switched over the system. Yeah. So they're at the brink of their life to like really decide on what they want to do in their life, or unfortunately drugs will take over. So it's I observe and study developments of the youth or to adult. I can only observe at my age right now because I'm not experiencing anything above 37. So I can't speak for that, but when you read books, it hits when it is your life now when you become that age. But like me speaking from an adolescent age when I was like 13 to 17, I think what we're aiming for Abel is that is a very critical time in a teenager's life to really input like, hey man, there's this opportunity in the real world rather than the terrible world, the concrete jungle that eats you up at night when you didn't get the mentorship, like, hey, nothing good happens after 10.
And so, it's funny you mentioned that because I was thinking earlier as well that back in the early days of hip-hop, there wasn't as much of a reliance on technology. You know what I mean? They had to figure out ways to get this creative bug that was bouncing around in their head and get it out. There wasn't, the access to studios and things like that wasn't as it is now, to where basically if you have a computer or a cell phone, you basically have a studio, some means to record and get your creative process out. And the fact that it's available to so many people now means that opportunity is there for more people, like 100 times over than it was back then. Before, think about it, it was cost prohibitive for a lot of prohibitive for a lot of folks to get up there a couple $100 to go to the actual recording studio, which you had to do then. You couldn't just really record at home unless you just put it on a cassette tape, and that cassette tape was real
that?
I know. I'm speaking another language.
That's from the 1900s. Shout out to Patrice Bethay and Carlette Hill, giving much love to our diva who is representing Deanna. They said they love you, girl.
I love them too. Those are my business associates. Yes, everyone's tuning in, they want to know what's going on with the Divas of Royal Dynasty. We've been pushing it out there, and Miss Patrice Bethay and Miss Carletta Hill, they are both, like I said, with 3 directors. I'm the administrator. We have the head coach, Miss Patrice, and Carletta is our accountant. And we together, our main goal was mentorship. We want the dance and we love it, but if your girls can't dance, that's fine, because like you said, the mentorship part is dying out. And it's hard to get those 13 to 17 year olds in there, and they're the ones who need it, because we're doing something great for our youth and wanting to teach them. Our goal for our girls is to have an enrichment once a month where we do etiquette training, we do community service, we do resume building, job search, and these things these girls need, but we just getting these kids in there to get that mentorship is the main thing. And like Mr. Washington was saying, everything is nowadays, your creative is right there in front of you. So it's kind of hard to get them out of the house to come get the mentorship when they got all the creative in front of them. But they might got the creative, but you might not know, you might not have the character building skills to get your creative out here the right way, because you always got an attitude. You might need someone to talk to you, someone to help you work through your attitude. So with Divas of Royal Dynasty, we kind of want to get these girls in the door so we can point them into the right direction. We might want to say, hey, Miss Camille can help you with building your confidence, go over there with the modeling, anything. So it's really big, the mentorship part, and it's really big for parents of our 13 and 17 year olds to get them involved in mentorship activities. If they are not athletic, don't write them off.
Right.
Don't write them off. It's something out here to do. I was just at I was trying to pull the information here. I was just at a seminar earlier where they were talking about, it is the SL Slap Turner. Let me be correct when let me pull it up, because it's another program out here for the youth. It's 3 different programs that they're running for the youth in their age groups. And when I went today, there was not a big youth or parent turnout, and it was shocking because parents are always looking to get their kids involved in things outside of athletics. And so we got to push as parents, as older people, as any type of mentor is getting these kids' faces, getting these parents' faces, and say, hey, this is going on, get them involved. And it is the Morning Star Junior and Juvenile, and then they have the SL Jap Turner Youth Council.
That's here in Sanford?
Yes, ma'am. And you guys can contact the Morning Star Temple or the Brick City Elks Lodge for more information for those groups. But outside of, like, if they don't want to dance to get the mentorship, they have those programs, and we don't turn around boys either, because some boys, they want to dance, come on in here and dance. But the main thing is getting these kids in the building. Like you guys know, with the 5 Pillars of Hip Hop program, we're trying to get these kids,
get them there
in the building. And
it was just like Miss Angels was saying last week on the show, it takes a village. And she broke it down further and said it takes 8 people in one child's life. And then I've researched what that 8 stood for, and that 8 is the 8 parts of your wellness. The 8 levels of wellness includes your emotional, your physical, your financial, your education, the different parts of your life, the different compartments of your brain. I've also been studying as a product of gifted and talented education. When I was in school, they gave us musical instruments every day. They gave us foreign languages every day. They gave us different enrichment programs, like learning how to cook, learning how to sew. Every area of our life was tapped into, things we said we would never use, but eventually we would. It came into play. So we're saying that to say that we need everyone.
That's right.
It doesn't matter what your gift is. And if you don't know what your gift is, it's programs and mentorship like this to give voice to the child whose mom doesn't understand that their tapping is not a disorder, that they're a drummer.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
They wrote on the wall because they are a muralist or a tattoo artist. Or it's something that could be a career. And I've done studies through my career and my life of being a creative myself, being a songwriter and vocalist. Music and the arts is the part of the education that is the glue that brings everything together.
That's right.
Part of the mind that helps the education and the self-esteem and the ability to follow through and complete tasks and stick to a career goal and build that person up. If without the arts, which the programs have left a lot of schools and the funding has left a lot of the schools, without the arts, we lose the ability for the children to really thrive and do their best in school.
That's right.
So we need more of this. I'm excited. I know I'm rambling.
Yes,
Yes, that circle of 8 includes mentors, Angel said. Yes, indeed.
that's right.
And we got 8 people watching right now. It's you. It's you. It's you.
Yes, yes. You're tuned in for a
All 8 of
reason.
you, yes.
That's right.
Yes, counting not strange. The numbers don't lie. So what is your best advice to a person, a child? That's since we targeting right now 13 to 17-year-olds. Because I remember me at that age, I was creative with hair.
Yeah.
So by the time I was 12, I was doing hair out of my mama's kitchen and making money hand over fist. I didn't even respect a dollar. It was like, this, we got money, let's eat. Whatever the fun thing was to do as a preteen, we did it. And so, by the time I'm a survivor of teen pregnancy, by the time I realized what I was doing, I was moving too fast. There was no mentorship, not saying that it wasn't available, but I thought I had it all together. The guidance was, I thought I was the mentor. So what is your best advice, even for a child that looks like they have it all together, or for that child that may be shy or trying to find themselves? How would you direct them at this time?
Well, one thing that I would say, coming from my youth experience, is be careful who your mentors are. Because I had lots of older people around me when I was younger, but they weren't the best mentors. So ask yourself, are the people that are coming to get you, hanging out with you, are they going to put you on a path to be great in the future? If you see that these people are just, look at their life, where are they at? What can they teach you? That's your first step, is your environment, your surroundings. If you're not happy with where you are, if you looking in your family and you don't see many people you want to be like, then ask yourself, what do you want to be like? Where are you trying to go? And you find those people and you learn from those people. Because if you don't know where you want to go or what do you want to be like, you're going to just follow whoever comes and say, hey, follow me.
That's it.
Yes, ma'am. And so look for those good mentorship programs and say, hey, I don't want to be around here 10, 15 years from now doing this. I want to be here. Find those people, find those programs, and get there.
And what do you say, Nico? What would you tell the child that comes into the classroom and they're just interested in doing the program, but you see something in them? What would you tell them? What's your advice?
I'm harsh for this sometimes. I would just be like, just do it. Here's some brushes, make some art. And if you have questions, let me know. But that's obviously not in my class program. It's a little more thorough. But, it's
Not you said it, and it worked.
It worked. That's good advice, though. Just do it.
like sometimes people want the sugar-coated words to like get something done in a creative way, and it's like, look, I go through so many tattoo or artists in general who are a lot more hungry. The starving artist definition, and it's like, look, you have to understand that like you have to put discipline and practice every day for this. Like LeBron's James' story about how he got there and how he maintains to be on top is that he goes harder than anybody in his gym and his team. And before he even did that, he was making sure that he was on top of his collegiate level. And like, that's what it takes. And we may not always get to the top, but at least you'll have reached a destination with the skills that you have, and seeing the mentors doing it themselves and have been doing it gives the life of example for them.
Yes,
is the important thing. And looking out for the right mentors. Don't go for the guys that just keep talking.
Yes. See what they show you. Like if they can show you, if they're not living what they're telling you, then there might not be the people you should be around. If what they're telling you, you see it with your own eyes, that's the mentor you should be writing down what they say, taking notes and following them. Because
Taking you with them.
Anybody can tell you anything.
Yep.
So all the youth need to learn that anyone can say anything. And sometimes people can show you something. As a child, the brain isn't developed as much at a certain pace. I would say you can't smoke until 21 because your brain is still growing, correct?
Right.
So understand that it's easily to be manipulated as 13 to 17-year-old.
Even if you think you know it all.
And then the thing is, you
Especially when
do
you
not
think
know
you
it
know,
all.
yeah.
Even if you've had a child, even if you've had a job, even if you feel like the parent in your household, I'm sorry, baby, you don't know it all. Not yet. You think you do because it feels like you've lived life longer than the other children your age. But unfortunately, you have not lived life to learn those lessons that haven't came yet. So you don't know everything. I'm only 33 years old. I said my age. But I don't know everything. I'm learning every day. And one thing that I am hungry for is getting around women who I can learn from, women who have things that I would want to have in life or in places that I want to be. I want to be right under them listening. I want to be taking notes because that's where I'm trying to go. I don't want to be under people who we're all in the same spot trying to figure out how we're going to do it. You got to get with people that you can learn from that are showing you that and that give you that hard proof that, now that I'm older, I can kind of listen to when somebody's saying something like, no, she just talking.
You can smell it.
Yeah, but when I was younger, you could tell me that the sky be pink on Saturday, and I'd be like, you know what, did you know the sky be pink on Saturday?
Y'all got some binoculars because I want to see that.
Yeah. So it's like you definitely as a child don't think that you know everything, and don't think that anyone telling you anything is telling you the right thing. Do your own research.
Yes.
Ask people who these people are. Like, do your research for yourself and make your decisions for yourself, not based on wanting to please others. Because a lot of times 13 to 17-year-olds, they want to please their friends.
Yes.
They want to please the people that they want to impress. And 9 times out of 10, those people that you want to impress going to be in the same place, doing the same thing later on. So don't worry about so much as pleasing others as pleasing yourself.
Especially at this age.
At this age, yes.
You
Please
gotta
yourself.
work the details in yourself and like know who to surround yourself with.
That's
because
right.
like peer pressure and the peers and like people ready to, I guess they're in the brink of going to college, so it's like you're not even going to see them to impress them now, and like everybody's separating ways, so everybody's in desperation to just like make a pop out of that mark before everybody goes in their separate directions. And it's a very normal life cycle of everybody. We all went through it. You may have hated it, and some have enjoyed it, but it's like that is an important time for these kids to really have some type of mentorship, even if it's a hit or miss, but at least they gained something out of it, hopefully, or they got their hands onto this. They started moving their body and they enjoyed it, and to the dance music, and like that's good because like music needs movement.
That's right.
Which is important when you my influences of that and seeing music videos in those days when MTV was big, and like when they're dancing, they're doing their choreography, makes you get up instead of just listening and sitting down, and that's important to get moving. And in my environment, it's with the hands. So kids need something to do with their hands instead of their phones, and that is the biggest problem right now.
Put the phone down, kids.
I can make you put your phone down. I'm with you on that one. Yes.
Yeah, and I have to say too, because I'm a parent, and so I feel like that for me, even now, it's more important to push mentorship, to push the children to go in the right direction, because my children are growing up under these 13, 17, 12 years. They're growing up under them. So they're going to shape the world of how my children are going to come up. So it's important for me to make sure that they have the best of thing, around them to be the best that they can be, not just for my children, for everybody.
Yes.
And so I think, like you said, it takes a village, and it takes for parents, because I make my kids do certain things. We got to get back.
It's a lost art.
That's right. We got to get back into making our children. We got to get back into signing them up ourselves and sending them, because when I was coming up 13, My mama had me sign up for NYSP, and it wasn't nothing I could say. I was getting on that bus. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so we've got to get the parents back involved with, okay, I noticed that you be beating on your table doing it. I done signed you up for this, and that's that. You know, and because sometimes the 13, 17-year-olds, they're going to do what everyone else is doing. Mm-hmm. And then we got some that I call them hobbits. They stay in the house. Parents, we got to get them out their rooms.
Yes.
We got to get them out their house. And so they might have some sort of talent in that room that they doing on their computer that nobody will ever see because no one won't pull them out of the room.
Pulling them out of that, yeah.
And so we as parents and mentors, we have to get in these kids' faces. If we want to change, we have to be the change and make them change, because sometimes it's not in them to do it, and the things that are put in front of them on their phones, in their music, in
They
the
don't know what they don't know what they want yet.
They don't.
They just want what looks like
They
everybody
don't
else is doing sometimes.
That's right.
I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second.
Uh-oh.
You got to be somewhat careful of that because, like you just mentioned, they're on their phone already with 50 million different things that's pulling them in 50 million different directions.
That's right.
If you come along and push them too hard, they're going to be further into this than what you're saying. They might give what you're saying kind of that, okay, I'll do it. They get there and they're on their phone
the whole time, not interested.
Focused, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a double-edged sword because I agree with what you're saying. Sometimes you do have to take the child and say, hey, you're going to do this. Let's see if you like it. I've noticed that you're doing this, so let's try this and see if you like it. Okay. If they come back to you and say, I don't really like it, you don't really, it's not like you really want to give in to them because now they're seeing how to quit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You have to find out their reasons as to why they're saying they don't like it. And if it's something that they can overcome, explain that to them.
That's right.
But it's very key and it's very essential part of this is the parents need to take that time again. That's right. I remember back in my day, I mean, I'm a little older than 33. About another 24 to that. But anyway, you know, back in my day, it was a matter of this is what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
You know, Angel, if you like doing
said,
sports,
yes,
go
sign
out
them up
and do sports.
That's right.
Angel just chimed in. She said, sign them up. Sign them up because sometimes kids don't recognize opportunity. That's right. That's what adults are for, guidance and support. Also, adult responsibility to help kids put down the phone. So we have to know our child. I am just, I don't know if amazed is the right word, because when the smarter the phone got, the quicker we were, and I'm not saying me, I'm just saying as a society, we were to hand that to a baby. Like, it's not cute to me anymore that a 1-year-old can swipe and hang up on you and take a picture and make a video and speak gibberish. It goes up. Yeah, it's cute. It's funny to watch the video, but if you think about it, where were you when the baby was doing all of that peanut butter?
The cell phones and tablets have become electronic
babysitters.
Now, I at some point,
responsibility dodgers.
That's right. But I can say that me with having 3, my first child, I made that mistake of here, take this, and every year he had a knobby, but his intellect from it, he is so everyone like, how he knows such and such. I'd be like, he's a tablet baby. He's gonna learn everything from the tablet. But I noticed how much he interacts with it, how bad it was for my other 2. I didn't push that on them because I felt like children should be doing. He doesn't like to do things outside of the computer because that was given to him too much. So you're right, that before a certain age we shouldn't be putting that in their hands until they have at least grasp kicking a ball and running outside, riding a bike.
Balance.
Yeah, because sometimes they don't even get to do those things because they're so focused on.
And that's the good thing, you know, what Camille just said, balance.
That's right.
My niece had that balance. She had perfect attendance all the way up through high school. She was on a cheerleading team. She was on a cheer dance team, you know, outside of school. She also had every single iPod and something that came out. If you don't know what an iPod is, this was before, everybody played music on their phones.
That's where the MP3
she had all
first came.
the MP3 files on it. She had, when the first one came out, she had that one. When the next one came out, she had that. I mean, she literally had each and every one of them. And, to her credit, she is actually in the social media field and has a great job. I mean, she had NFL teams looking for her to be their social media director. She is now at a college, New Orleans University. Shouts out to my niece, Jasmine. Hey, Jasmine. But, she took that and turned that into a profession. Yeah. But she had that balance.
That's right.
She would go outside and play. She would go to her cheerleading practice. She would go to her competitions. And that's the key thing. It can't be a replacement for something. You know what I mean? That device is now taking too many spaces.
She at a young age, parents volunteered to, or signed him up for these things.
Yes.
It's the same experience I've had with my parents. Like, they, no matter what the option was, what they chose to do or sign me up for, I'm there. I had no choice. I mean, I think they need to get back into this, where sign them up, put them through voluntary work, get them through mentorships or art programs, sports programs, reading programs, something they might enjoy. But sometimes you got to put them into situations where they might not like it, but they need to understand why.
Why? Yes.
I grew up in that environment, volunteering all my weekends in the church or doing some kind of ministry work. And so it became familiar with me with how organizations work. And in the background, I'm doing art. So I grew up doing those things. But organization and finding my voice through music when I was using a guitar to play in front of the church and doing things like that. At age 13 and 17, it didn't feel as glamorous to me because my parents might have tried to force me or that. But then after I developed that the art was more important than just this trial and error, but it was that it became familiar when I was around things. You go to a concert, it's when you go to a concert, it's I can play that guitar like that, oh man, and it pops in your head. That's what I want to do. Or it could be dancing, it could be DJing, it could be MCing, it could be graffiti. I mean, graffiti can go in so many directions.
Yes.
In the graphics arts, I work a lot with graphic artists and applied graphics and business owners that print things onto murals. Now that's the new thing where they're printing onto walls. But it's tough to outbeat the guy who can really bang out a good mural and an art on the wall. It's because there's more relationship to that. But again, kids do need to be put into these environments so that when they are exposed to it in their own personal time, they flourish all the time, every time.
Yes. Angel added, technology can help us learn so many things except social skills.
That's right.
As humans, we can only learn that by interacting with each other. It's all about balance. That is so true. And, I hate to keep bringing it up, but we did have an era of quarantine. And some of this age group, that we're targeting right now, they are post-COVID teens. So isolation, I ain't gonna lie, when COVID hit, I was in my zone. I hit the trail. I didn't have to go to work.
Okay.
I hit the trail. I was my healthiest. My skin was, I didn't wear no makeup, was skinny.
And on the flip side of that, I was the same way. I got back to making beats. I had started making beats back when I was managing the rapper, and I stopped, lifed. And when the pandemic hit, it was I was doing security for large scale events, NFL games and stuff like that. And all of that grinded, literally screeched to a halt.
Nothing.
And couldn't do anything. So I was literally sitting around the house 24/7. Well, for a year.
For a whole year. Yeah.
So I got into making music. I mean, literally, I lost track of the 24-hour cycle. Just did not exist to me. I would be up at night, all night, and then I would sleep half the day away, and then I'd get up and it was right back to making beats.
Hey, I
And then
painted
I'd go
a couple
outside
paintings
and I'd
too.
walk around. I'd go outside and walk. You know, I had some balance.
Yeah,
I'd go outside, walk through the woods. I took like 2 hours and just went walking through the woods to a trail.
Yeah.
Saw deer running in front of me. I mean, to me, it was surreal, but it was a necessary way to kind of reset.
That's right.
Yeah,
And
your
get
health and
back to
wellness.
some of the things that these devices have distracted us from. You know what I mean?
right.
Because that potential for me to do that, and I'm going to be hard on myself, was always there. I was just allowing other things to get in the way of me doing that. So that pandemic gave me the opportunity to see that, hey, all I had to do all along was just take the time to do it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So we like to talk about health and wellness here too, because we chose a plant-based lifestyle, and you guys look amazing. Y'all young and healthy. Do you have any other pointers? Like, how would you suggest that people take care of their bodies in dance and in art? Like, because that's, even though it may be paper and pen or paint and a computer, but there's some skills that you need to have with that overall 8 areas of wellness. Any advice you have for the young people while you have them in your hands?
My advice is, if you dance, don't stop dancing. Like, don't ever stop. Since a child, I was on dance teams in middle school, high school, even in college. It was the TNT and the Unleashed dance team in Durham. I danced all the time. And even coming back as a young adult, I like to go out on the weekends, and that was my exercise. Dancing is exercise.
It is.
It helps you stay fit. So if that's something you do, continue to do it. Because we have 2 coaches on our team, and one of them is a young they're both young adults. I just want to shout out Leasia Washington and Shania Watson. And she said to me, I hated that I stopped going hard when I did, because I can't get up and do some of the things that I used to do.
Wow.
And even me, I know I can't get down like I used to. But
Can't do that straddle split no more, girl. Can't do that full split no more, girl.
We'll get that a little bit. Can't back
Give you this
in.
half kick leg right there.
I can't even cartwheel no more. But see, that's the thing, is because I stopped. Had I never stopped and just been a parent and was just working, I could have continued. I stopped going out to the club and stuff. I stopped.
Yeah.
And so had I never stopped, I would probably still have that, flexibility, strength. So do not stop dancing. If you dance, continue to dance. Dance in the mirror, dance at home, dance in the bathroom. Just keep dancing.
Dance like nobody's watching.
That's right.
And how do you stay so fit? You mentioned skateboarding. How do you
I was
stay
going to
so
mention
fit?
this is support your local farm groups, like
Yeah.
farmers market. Like, I think this is going viral in a way that they're finding out that these watermelons are like plasticky and these fruits
Wow.
like really new, and it's like that's what's happening in the grand scale top down things. But if you support natural foods, contributes so much to like your health and your wellness and
Yes.
as you age, so you're not having terrible gut problems, or that you have more energy when you're dancing, when you're out there in the hot sun doing something that you are doing. Like, health is important. It is our only thing that we have control of, and like that's what feeds like the brain, your movements, like your conversation. Like, actually, a funny story. Like, whenever before I got here, I was at Bojangles, and as soon as I sat down and realized what time it was, and you texted me, I was like, "That's in like 20 minutes." I can.
We're connected.
I just chowed it down and just like had to go. I know Bojangles is probably not the most healthiest, but it is a live chicken, and like you can still see the bone, and like it's got the rice. You got the biscuit.
You're really stretching trying to make that sound good.
Listen, y'all gotta endorse my man Nico over there at Boncales. Y'all better give him the coupons or something over there.
But it was a good ride regardless here. But no, eating healthy is good. I think that's what keeps me healthy also, because I don't work well with processed foods. But that's also trained also, that gut biome in your stomach needs to be trained, and it's an important aspect. I see a lot of kids or adults at my age who cannot put down a good sushi roll or like a good like something.
Don't look at me.
I was going to say I feel attacked.
I'm sorry.
I love an avocado roll.
Avocado roll. That's
I don't eat meat, but I will kill an avocado roll. Shout out to New Tokyo Express.
It's funny because we go in there, we get the same order every single time, and when she calls on the phone, they basically know her voice.
She's like, "Hey,
And they
friend,
can
chopsticks,
recite
right?"
the order before we even finish.
Yeah, every time. So yeah, you're right though. That is so important. And even that activity, the creativity of sowing seeds, that's what you guys are doing in the arts. Arts are the seeds, like in a farm. Sometimes you sow the seed as a mentor. You may not even see the career flourish. You might not be the partaker of the tree that grows from the seed that you sow. Let's say you plant an apple tree. It takes years and years. So it takes us to continue this. Like she said, don't stop the music. Don't stop dancing. Don't stop your art. Don't stop giving yourself to the fertile ground of these minds that we have.
But you know what? And here's the sad part about it. It really depends on and weighs heavily on folks like us to do that. Reason being is, I don't know if you've heard, probably since, and the numbers that I'm looking at here, probably since about 2010 or so that I can remember, the government started doing what? Cutting arts funding in schools.
That's right.
It started slowly, and the numbers that I have here are for the State Department of Education in Oklahoma. It found that over 1,110 fine arts classes in 4 years were completely cut.
Wow.
Gone. The percentage is for another year was at least a 50% cut in budget. And imagine if, now let's bring this to a personal level. You work hard for your money. Imagine if somebody came up to you and said, you're taking a 50% cut, but you still got to live. You still got to do the things. You know what I mean? Art is very essential. Like you have always said, it's very key to developing creative thought and wellness.
Yeah.
You know, if you are a struggling artist who hasn't even had the opportunity to struggle, you're struggling even more because now you've seen it taken away from you. You know you can do it. You know you want to do it. You have the desire to do it, but you can't find the right structure to teach you how to do it. So organizations like the one that we have, Lee County Cultural Arts, organizations like the your local arts council, organizations like ABLE, organizations like yourself as far as the dance and your business as far as we're all contributing to possibly helping somebody fill that void that the government has decided just isn't important.
And shameless plug one more time, because our guest Deanna has to get to another engagement. But before you go, please let everyone know one more time where to find you so that they can get some participation with the Divas of Royal Dynasty.
Yes, ma'am. The Divas of Royal Dynasty. You can reach us on Facebook at Diva of Royal Dynasty. You can also reach us at our Gmail account is divas.royaldynasty24@gmail.com. And if anyone is looking to be scheduled for our event August 17th, please reach out to us. We are accepting all teams. Anyone want to come and showcase, just please reach out to us, and you can contact 919-935-1254. Miss Patrice Bethay.
Yes, and as soon as you have the opportunity, get us that flyer so we can share it with our folks.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
indeed.
ma'am.
Typing skills failed me just now. Can you give me that email one more time?
Yes, it's divas, DIVAS Royal Dynasty 24
At Gmail.
at gmail.com.
Let's get that lovely logo up there real quick so everybody can recognize the brand Divas of Royal Dynasty.
Yes, yes. When you
Not
see
to be
that too.
confused with any other.
That's right. And we thank you so much for having us here. We really appreciate the opportunity to get the word out about what we're doing. We currently serve 9 girls, but it's our goal to have at least 20 girls. So we know that we're getting some mentorship out here in the community. And we do serve Lee County, Chatham County, and Hornet County. So please come see us Tuesdays, Thursdays, 1640 South Horner Boulevard.
Excellent.
That's
Thank you
what's
so
up.
much.
Thank
we
you.
definitely appreciate you coming through. Sorry you had to run, but it's been a
Yes.
great talk.
Yes.
And definitely looking forward to the 5 pillars of hip hop.
Yes, come dance with me.
Yes.
And so while I'm escorting her out of the building, Mr. Nico, we would like to share with our audience some footage that was recorded by one of the other pillars, and it's on your Instagram, right?
Yeah, I think he had it up on there.
Derek, you want to pull that up while we walk Miss Diva out?
She loves
Pleasure having you also and
You as
talking
well.
with you.
See you later.
Absolutely.
So once again, that was the Divas of Royal Dynasty. And so, Mr. Nico, explain this. I'm actually on your Instagram page now, so I'm gonna have to go back to
So I'll do it at the top because I just posted this
the
today.
clip.
Can I make a shout out to my boy who did this for me?
Go
The
right
video?
ahead. Yes.
So Knowledge is actually the videographer for this program, and I met him like last week, I think, when we were at the Man Center, and we got to chatting and like knowing that he was the videographer, and of course I also carry a camera around sometimes here and there and do some professional videography. So obviously we get into a conversation about that, and within like 3 days,
Yeah.
like I brought him into my studio, and like the next day he had a video already. I was just like very impressed with how quick he was able to turn that around, and like
So this is Knowledge's work right here. is
Yep,
what
that's
you're
it.
saying. Okay, I like it. Shouts out to Knowledge Fox.
gotta throw his name out there. Yeah.
Video, and actually, while you're playing, he's a great MC as well. You know, he wears a few hats, but as far as his verbal ability, yeah, definitely nice on that mic. And you know, it's funny because, and my wife can tell you, sometimes it gets on her nerves, but I like to do different things.
What you talk about, Willis?
And I really wanted to, and I'm gonna put this out there and see what you think about it. I when we interviewed you, I really wanted to do it in your tattoo shop
Oh,
while you're doing a tattoo or something.
oh man.
And that's just me. You know, I like doing that type of content, that type of just something a little different.
I gotta find you the right client. Now, what kind of client do you want? Do you want the screamer, or do you want the just like the talker, or you want the guy who just says nothing?
The talking screamer.
a
How's
tattoo.
that?
Talking screamer. There we go. You could be
Now, which
the subject.
category do you fall in? Are you
Depends on what part of the body. If it's
okay?
the middle of my back, like all those tattoos on my back, it's like These biceps are okay. That's nothing.
I had a guy the other week. It was we're doing a tattoo on his knee, and you know, I always get the the rough end verbally. I get the verbal abuse because like
You get cussed out and kicked.
the words are flown in the air.
Yeah.
You know, like but it's like I'm the one putting the needle in that skin, so it's like I get it. You know, but it's always a tough day for
Yeah, I hear you. I have two. I have this one and another one over here. And I've contemplated getting another one, but I believe in balance. So if I got one more, I'd have to get two total. So it would probably be on the shoulders.
Let's go.
So I've considered it, but like I said, it has to be two.
Don't talk about it. Be about it now.
I guess. But and you
Don't
know
get
what
me
the,
trying
you know
to
what the funny
convince you to
part
get a
is?
tattoo because I'm good at sales.
You know what the funny part is though?
What's that?
I'm terribly afraid of needles.
He's needle phobic. He'll pass out.
Oh, you got?
So let's
I know.
let's
Go
film
figure.
him. Let's
Go
film
figure.
him.
It'll be a lot of this.
I think he's gonna be the interviewee. I'll be the
I'll take the camera.
Tell me where it ails you.
Yeah.
No, but I got both of these during rough times in my life, and it was, I guess, the easing pain of it. It's hard to explain, but going through it, it was something that I challenged myself to do, knowing that I did not like needles, but I wanted to do it because this one is in memory of my son that I lost, and this is I don't know if you've ever heard of the record label Nervous Records. This was actually their logo, and it has my DJ name going through it, even though it's a little faded right now.
It's a lot faded.
It's a little old.
Hey, and
So if you
just
can
in case,
retouch it.
hey, we can do a segment on this, and like going back to this program that we're trying to market out there. So you may be wanting, and in that age group, to be like maybe a tattoo artist. It is a very common thing now. Graffiti is part of that. So like like the fact that I can direct you in that, and also show you a style in graffiti that is also part of this performance. You know, it's another opportunity to like get your hands on with like the inks. That's what it's about. Get more ink. Like I realized one day that like, you know, I might spend like a good pair of shoes on a Nike and it gets inked on it. Like, you know, I embrace that part that like I have a reason that I have paint on my brand new shoes, man. Like I had to embrace it. It's tough.
It's amazing that you mentioned it, because there's an artist, and he's moved on from some things. He's evolved as an artist. Akio Evans, he has keys to the city. He designs one-of-one shoes. He started out in the back of a barbershop in East Baltimore doing tattoos. And he's started putting graffiti and different artwork on clothing. Before we had the crickets and all of that other stuff, he was doing it by hand, like straight up paint, cutting out pieces.
Yeah, it's still a growing
different
industry.
media. And so he has reached a broad celebrity clientele. Different museums have his pieces. He does major events. I was just thinking about you spilling ink. He does custom shoes for people like Dave Chappelle, like famous people or people who are historians and political situations that happen in the news. And I mean, he has another day job, but he's made the art his life. Yeah.
And speaking on mentorships, imagine if you're getting like a link up with that, like just because you had a little bit of taste of like the arts or the graffiti, or whether it be dancing or DJ or MCing. Like that's what it takes to like really put yourself into those scenarios, so that when you get the opportunity, you flourish, or at least you understand a little bit about the knowledge or vocabulary.
Yeah. Did you want to say anything about any of the other instructors, the other creative part of the team?
Go ahead and ask a couple other questions, and I'll pull that up.
We have Nico, who's doing the art, graffiti art, history of that. And we have Deanna Dowdy, who's doing the segment. Then we also have Mac, which we were hoping we could get him on the show today. Mac, the Black Sheep, is going to be teaching styles of MCing from different eras and different genres of hip hop. Then we also have what else we got? We have Nikisha is going to be doing the fashion design. Then beat making as you. So, and then we also have Knowledge Fox, who is a videographer in the documentary of the entire thing. And of course, we can't leave out the creative Sandra Lemus, who has been managing to pull people together and help to organize and gain the instructors that we have.
Yeah, shout out to the fact that she was just at the Juneteenth up and coming, constantly does these programs to help the community, and I love her energy about it.
Indeed. So, did you have some more information about that? Well, we can get that up, but before we get that up, what would be your takeaway from today's conversation? Like, what nuggets did you get? Because we hope that on our show that we not only pull from you, but that we pour back into you. What would you say that you could take from this show tonight, this conversation with Deanna, and moving forward, what could you take out into the community and share?
What a wonderful studio you have here.
We can't take the credit for it. We just live here.
Really?
We're at North Carolina studio, run by today's creative. Tim Robbins and his lovely family run this building.
The whole building.
This building, yes. And we are expanding. They are expanding downstairs with a production studio.
That
Check
is
them out
wonderful.
online, NC Studio.
I have been very curious about what goes on here because I know that I have some friends here who room for like conferences or like meetings and stuff like that.
The conference
really
room
dope
straight
conference
down the
room.
hall.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
now that I'm finally in here, like now I get a little bit of taste. So it's like this is very awesome and necessary.
Oh,
and
great.
It's enjoyable to see other people doing what they love and like know that that purpose is there being shared in public or and that's what it's about. If it's the takeaway, it's the example. It's seeing others progress and doing the necessary things so that we can mentor these kids or students of all types to really have some common grounds or at least steer them in the direction, the right path, rather than depression
Yes.
and anxiety.
Yes.
And we all have it. We can tell you all about it if that is something that keeps you from signing up your kids to these events. And I'm here because with obviously that I want to get more students for my class, but also to show to the parents, like, do this for your kids. You won't regret it, like, because at least you'll have them out of your sight for about 6 hours.
Not just that.
That's one way to look at it.
Yes, indeed. And another way to express the safety of the program, there was an intensive interview process. There was an application. There were background checks. So just to show you, I think he just pulled it up on the screen. Our creative team with the Alliance of Black Leaders and Educators, the 5 Pillars of Hip Hop, Music and Arts Camp, which
And I
will
had to
be
find some appropriate music.
June 19th through the 21st with a finale show on the 22nd. You guys want to come out and check that out. Go
Wait a
ahead and
minute.
run through.
Keywords: free
It's for free.
finale.
It's for
You can
free.
come in on that Saturday and catch a free presentation that I'm putting it out there in the atmosphere now. It's gonna be off the chain. Trust me. Don't want to miss it. We got the MC Mac the Black Sheep. We got the fashion designer Miss Nakisha McIver. Oh, look at that. We got
that?
the
Who that?
artist,
That's the
Mr.
younger
Nico Boncales.
It's a younger version.
The younger version. We have the dancer, Miss Deanna Johnson, who you just saw. And there we go. The videographer, Mr. Knowledge Fox.
You're just exploiting the culture.
Who are these folks?
I don't know. That look like you and I.
Who are these folks?
You and I.
Special
you and
consultant,
I.
myself and Miss Camilla ChynaGroove Collins, Washington.
You and I.
Yes. And of course, the before spoken of Miss Sandra Lenis.
The special consultant.
And you know what I noticed? Shame on her.
What?
There's one person missing.
Who's that?
The glue that binds it all together.
Herself.
Herself.
Angel Mills.
This is Angel Mills.
Yes, the visionary.
Yes.
The executive
big shouts
director
out to
of
Angel Mills for
Able.
pulling this all together. Folks, when I tell you she is organized, wow.
To the T.
To pull this together has taken, an enormous effort. It's definitely going to be worthwhile checking out. Again, starts on the 19th, Juneteenth, and ends on the 22nd. I know it says the 21st, but the actual camp parts of it, where they're going to be learning in an interactive manner, happened the 19th through the 21st, followed up by a grand finale performance, pulling it all together.
All together.
All together. I love it.
Yes.
I'm psyched, and I'm happy and honored to be a part of it. And
our babies,
I was just
our
getting
little
ready to
models
say,
are going to do the intro.
Awesome.
Yes, a little intro so that our babies, our junior models from Lee County Cultural Arts will be making their debut,
Their
first
debut
show. We have
performance, yes.
5 to 11-year-olds in our group. So this will be your future mentees, your future participants for next year's
Possibly
program, possibly.
so. Oh, yeah.
Indeed.
Looking forward to it.
So if all hearts and minds are cleared, is there anything else you want to share and tell people where they can find you again on Instagram, or what's your handle? And
So you can look me up on Instagram at Veracity Tattoos. Or you can go to my main website, which is particularly really overall my portfolio of things that I work on, like what I'm able to service all through the arts, like graphic arts, videography, photography. I may take in knowledge to like kind of work with me on videos also, so I'm excited with that.
And what's the website again?
oakenpros.com. It is OCINPROS.com.
oakenpros.com.
Yes, sir.
yes, indeed. Thank you so much for coming and sharing and giving your time today, because we know you're a busy man. Indeed. So we're looking forward to all of this and more. So you know what time it is.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Definitely, not a problem. It was our pleasure. We look forward to seeing again what each and every pillar brings to the table. I'm gonna be like a kid in a candy store. I can't make it on the first 2 days, but I got you on the last 2. So I'm excited.
Super excited. It's amazing. So with that being said, this is what we like to call a wrap.
It's a what?
It's a wrap.
It's a who?
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap.